You're watching the 2025 SCAC Golf Media Days. Today, we're taking a look at the Southwestern University men's and women's golf programs. The Pirates will once again be led as they head into the season under the guidance of head coach Greg Sigler, along with leadership from senior Bryce Stiemert on the men's side and junior Isabella Valenzuela on the women's side. And Coach Bryce, Isabella, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us, Russell.
Coach, we'll open up with you heading into your 10th year as the head coach of these two programs there at Southwestern. I'm just interested where you've seen the biggest growth in your programs over these last handful of years, and ultimately how excited to be back with these two new groups and heading into the championship run of this season.
Yeah, I think the growth just came from the culture. We've got, Bryce leading the men's team and Isabella leading the women's team. They've just done an outstanding job, preparing themselves for the upcoming years and, really taken the underclassmen in under their wing and done a really good job of kind of letting them know what we expect as a team. They've just both been great leaders for the team and somebody that I can really focus and really lean on if I need any information from them.
Bryce, coming into this season, obviously it's a big year for you in your senior semester. Talk about the energy of this men's program this year, though. What is motivating this group? How has this group sort of started to gel and come together? And ultimately, from a team perspective, what are you looking forward to most coming into this season?
The energy has been great this year. We have such a good group of guys, both as players and just people off the course, that it's super fun. It's just one of those things where we have a great group that's all really tight. The team chemistry is super strong and we all push each other. It's very competitive. And that is one of the biggest pushes behind all of us. We all want to play and we all want to play well. And so going out there and being able to compete, but also afterwards be friends and help build each other up. That's the super exciting part that I really love about the season. And having that energy, especially with the momentum that we had last fall, kind of culminate into what it is right now and where we're going to, looking at national championships and obviously the SCAC Conference Championship. Super, super exciting.
Isabella, coming into this year, junior year, I'm interested just where are you most comfortable out on the golf course when things are clicking well, when you're confident in playing at your best? What part of your game seems to be clicking and kind of breeds confidence within yourself? And just ultimately, what are you looking forward to most individually coming into this?
For me personally, I think my ball striking is pretty well right now. I'm really excited about the kind of speed I've been working on with my swing, so I'm able to hit the ball farther and kind of have confidence in hitting those fairway shots off the tee, and then a lot of more green and reg opportunities from setting myself up well off the tee. But I think a big game changer is definitely chipping. We've done a lot of chipping focused work and practices kind of through coach and our assistant coach, and getting that guidance there has definitely been really helpful, and especially kind of when the conditions can be rough out on the course, kind of being able to lean on the short game and chipping has been definitely a game changer. Definitely gives me more confidence going into a green for sure, because I know if I'm not going to hit the green, I can get it up and down and move on. So that's definitely been a game changer. And I guess I'm kind of just looking forward to continuing to play with this confidence, I guess, that I've been able to create over the past half semester that we've had so far. So I'm really excited, looking forward to going in a conference.
Coach, you talked a little bit about it, but how have the leaders sort of set the tone with these two programs? Who are some athletes that you really will lean on, both on and off the course to be a big part of kind of your leadership group within these two teams? And just how important is that leadership in terms of the team's success? Obviously, when you're out on the course, that there's only one or two voices, coaching wise, that can be out there with everybody. So, having those leaders out there as well, is that something that's important to the group's success?
Yeah, the leadership is super important. I think for us, our two leaders, our seniors on the men's side and Izzy on the women's side, they've just been super important for setting the culture, setting the tone for, like I said, what we expect. If we have recruits on campus, Izzy's always available. Bryce has been available. If any of the incoming freshmen or underclassmen have any issues and don't feel comfortable, coming to me. I know that, they can go to either one of these or any of the players and, get their feedback. And, it's nice to be able to totally trust, the leadership 100%. They're going to do the right thing, both on and off the course. And so they've made, both teams are where we are at because of these guys. And it makes my job super easy. And it makes it just much more enjoyable, I think, for the whole team, to know that they've got somebody they can really lean on. And, these guys have understood and gone through exactly what, these incoming freshmen and underclassmen have done. So, they're invaluable for sure.
Bryce, you've been a big part of this program really your entire time since arriving there in Georgetown. You've put the peg in the ground for a number of big time tournaments, big time moments, and pressure situations. So I'm interested, as you've kind of gotten that experience throughout the course of your career, how have you been able to handle those pressure situations? What do you find is best for you that works in order to make those pressure situations feel a little bit normal? And just as one of the senior leaders, how can you kind of pass along some of that helpful advice to some of these younger athletes who maybe haven't had that same experience that you have going into this year?
I think the mindset that I try to bring and have tried to bring for years goes back to a Damian Lillard press conference where he talked about how pressure was a privilege. And I've always loved that motto, and it puts it into perspective. At the end of the day, we're playing golf for our university. We're hitting a little white ball around a bunch of golf holes. And that's not really pressure. It's a privilege to go out there and be able to perform for the university and also to showcase the work that you've put in. I think whenever I've been able to handle the pressure well, in going back to freshman year, the SCAC conference championship, having a 6-footer on hole 18, knowing that the teams are neck to neck, it's all about what work have you put in. And ultimately, it's not really in your hands anymore. It's about what you've put in before you step on the tee. And that's what we've talked a lot about with the guys of going out and performing in these qualifiers, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to make that top 5 that's traveling. And so oftentimes we've talked about, hey, if you can go out and qualify and beat these guys who are really good at golf, you're going to be ready to be out there. And oftentimes it can actually be easier to perform in those tournaments when you've gone through a pressure situation and you've already showcased those skills and qualified, since you have a sense of belonging there. So ultimately, it just comes from the work and the perspective that it's a privilege to be able to compete and to be able to represent your university and ultimately play the game that we play.
Isabella, how is the team chemistry with this group? How has this team sort of started to form those bonds, come together as a group? And, how important is that chemistry just in terms of kind of the overall team success with this team? And, just as a junior, have you seen your role change within this group a little bit coming in this as an upperclassman?
Yeah, absolutely. Our team culture is definitely very close right now. So being a majority of us being juniors and sophomores, we've been together for over a year now. And so I think we've just been able to kind of we're not just like getting to know each other, we know what each other's capable of. We've seen each other play some really good golf. And also, on the other hand, we've seen each other struggle a lot too. But I think that definitely helps us push each other to do the best of our abilities and be able to, support each other. That way, when we're out on the course, it's not so much, being nervous about messing up for your team. It's more about going out there and wanting to prove to your team the work you've put in, knowing that your girls are behind you and that no matter what happens, you still have that support on and off the course, which is really nice. That's definitely something I've really cherished in my time at Southwestern. And it's just a culture we got from I guess, when I was a freshman and coming, the seniors were great about kind of letting us know what those expectations were, that, we're a team first and foremost, we support each other, but we're also going to be competitive. And I think myself and the other juniors on the team have been able to kind of cultivate that culture further. And that's definitely helped us grow a lot. And then my position as a junior leader I couldn't have done it without my team. They are amazing. And at the end of the day, we all really want it. We all are passionate about golf and making this team the best that we can be with what we're given. And that's what makes our team great. Not necessarily like what I can do, but like all of us together combined, what we can do.
Coach, what do you want fans to know about these two teams? You obviously have the unique perspective of being with these groups day in and day out at practice, along for those van rides on the way to tournaments, and certainly being there on match day, on tournament day as well. So, as you've gotten to know these two groups, what have you learned about them that you want fans to know? And where do you see some strengths within these two groups that supporters of these two teams can be excited about, down this championship stretch of the year?
Yeah, I mean, I think people don't understand how well-rounded each one of these individuals are and the amount of work that goes in, not only to golf, but, all the clubs, fraternities, sororities that they're into. It's just not, they're not just going to class and coming out to the golf course. They've got, I mean, it amazes me, their schedules, how they're able to compartmentalize their time and, function, at a super high level, on the golf course. Both teams' GPAs were amazing. Like I said, with all the stuff that they do off campus in the community, it's really eye-opening to me, and it's makes me want to be a better person. So I want everybody to understand that, the student athlete life it's a grind, and, these guys are very well versed and they just do a great job. And it's, the van rides are super fun. The travel is, what it's all about. Like Bryce was saying, the qualifiers are, I mean, it's a grind. It's brutal, for both teams. And then, you get through that, you get to the tournament, and it's, you're playing with the house money. It's fun at that point. So it's really interesting to see, the work that they put in, and it's, starting to pay off, at the tournaments, and just not only at the tournaments, but grades, all their internships are getting, all the jobs they've got lined up, the schools are going to after this. So it's pretty impressive.
Finally, as we wrap up with our two student athletes, as leaders within your teams, and you've had conversations with some of the other teammates and leaders within your groups about some of the goals and expectations coming into this year, what did those conversations look like? And ultimately, what do you both see as being key for these groups to going out and accomplishing those goals, heading into this season?
When I was a freshman, it was oftentimes about going and winning the SCAC conference championship. We would joke about going out and playing well at the national championship, but it kind of felt more like a dream back then. And it's not a dream anymore for us. Whenever we talk about it, we really do believe in ourselves that we can beat any team in the nation if we're playing our best golf. And so that's where our goals are at right now for the men's side. We're looking at the highest goals every single time we step up and tee it up. We want to win tournaments. We want to play well. We want to place well. And ultimately, that comes from being prepared at every single shot. And so that's kind of where the goals are. Oftentimes, it's really easy in golf to think way down the road, but it is a step-by-step process. And if we're the best at that on the course, then we think our goals, there's nothing really we can't achieve.
Yeah, and for the women's team, I think kind of looking more at that step-by-step process, we've kind of looked at where we tend to struggle for tournaments and identifying what it is we can improve on. And for us, we definitely have noticed we'd like to give ourselves a better chance after the first day. We always tend to kind of improve a lot and show kind of what we're capable of doing that second day, but we'd like to start off right off the bat hot. And we believe that if we can truly work on this and, along with our golf swings, along with kind of that mental game, that we can do that and truly give a run at conference.
And finally, Coach, we wrap up with you. What's been your message to these two groups as you sort of laid the foundation of these seasons coming into the year? It's cool to hear kind of, from your leaders and captains within your team, sort of their goals and expectations. So what's kind of been your message to support that, coming into this championship run here?
Yeah, I mean, I just want them to be at their best, on the golf course. We've set the ultimate goals, and then the process goals is just, be where your feet are at, and, just make sure you're putting in the work. When we get to the first tee at the conference tournament, I want them to look back and say I'm totally prepared. There's nothing else I could have done, to prepare myself, for this event. And that's all you can ask. I mean, it's a difficult game. And, like I said, once you get to the golf tournament, it's, you just let it go. You have fun. And it's just about all the preparation that, we're really focused on. I think if they're, with their practice plans, they do a really good job of preparing themselves for the tournament. And then we just, get to the tournament and just let it go and see what happens.
Southwestern University head men's and women's golf coach Greg Sigler, along with leadership from senior Bryce Stiemert on the men's side and junior Isabella Valenzuela. On the women's side, Coach Sigler and the Pirates return to action when they take on the Jekyll Island Invitational on March 21st through the 23rd. Coach, Bryce, Isabella, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you march forward throughout the rest of the year.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Appreciate it.